So it happens in Tuscia. You just walk around or you open a gallery, whichever, and all of a sudden you hear somebody saying, "Hey, how you doing?" Or, "Oh, Sheila, look at here." And then I turn around and I say, "Hey, hi guys, how you doing?" So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you Frank and Sheila. Hi guys, how are you?
Hi, Julio.
Well, we have a new setup, so hopefully it's going to work. Remember to speak a little loud. So, Sheila, let's start with you. Who are you?
Okay, well, I'm a retired teacher from
I am so sorry. I think I made a mistake. You have to start again because
Okay.
the only microphone goes from here, so I screwed it up. I apologize. So you are Sheila. You are a retired teacher. What do you teach?
Well, I used to teach 5th and 6th grade, mostly science. And
Just a little question. Are they still angels or they are not angels anymore?
at the end of the year, they're not angels anymore. But then they go off to the big school. So that's good. Yes.
So, how long was it the best job in the world?
Oh, it was the best job in the world the whole time
Really?
that I taught. Yes.
No, you're kidding me,
No,
right?
I'm not kidding.
So after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, it was still great.
After 20 years, it was still great. It was still, there are always frustrating things, and times change, the district changes, things tighten up. It's
They
they
happen.
rope you in. And
They happen, right?
Yes.
They happen. Okay, Frank, who are you?
If I may,
Oh, please.
one more thing. Because we are in this beautiful art gallery, what Sheila didn't mention was before she was a teacher.
That sounds good.
She was a professional artist.
Oh, that is fun. Now we need to know more, Sheila.
Not a lot to say about that, but I did it for many years, and when I wanted to change, I found that teaching gave me all the same satisfactions and more.
Really?
Yeah.
That is something.
Yeah.
That is something.
Yeah,
That is
it
very
did.
interesting.
It really did.
Okay, Frank.
I was born in New York City, and in 1975, I decided I wanted to go away to university. So I got on a bus and I went to Ann Arbor, Michigan, because I wanted to go to the University of Michigan. To be able to afford that, I had to become a Michigan resident. So I worked in a restaurant for about a year and a half. During that
You're
time,
kidding. You were a teacher. Sorry, a waiter.
no, I was a dishwasher.
Oh, no. That is fun.
I was a dishwasher, and then I was promoted to salad chef, and then to prep cook, and then eventually manager of a restaurant.
You were?
Yes.
Congratulations. How long did it take you?
A year and a half. And during that time, I met Sheila.
Mhm.
And
Was
then-
she another waitress or?
No, she was the bookkeeper.
So, co-worker.
Yeah, co-worker. And then eventually I went to the university. I had 2 degrees, one in ancient history and the history of science. And then I went to do my graduate work, University of Chicago. And during that time, instead of completing my doctorate, I went to work for the university to raise money for them.
Oh, you're a fundraiser?
I was a
That
fundraiser
sounds very
for-
good.
I was a fundraiser for almost 30 years.
Mhm.
Only worked really in 3 places: University of Chicago, a small university in Massachusetts, and the Marine Biological Laboratory in Woods Hole. That's why we moved to Falmouth, where we live now. We still live
Which
there.
is a little peninsula
It's a part of Cape Cod, which is a peninsula on the ocean south of Boston.
southeast of Boston.
Southeast of Boston.
So let's fast forward.
Okay.
At some point, it happened in your life that you either read the word Viterbo or Tuscia. What happened?
Viterbo, because after many years of, another 10 years of being an entrepreneur to develop solar energy projects.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Was very successful, very gratifying. I also had volunteered to teach English in a school.
Frank, do you mind if I ask you to look at the map so that it looks like you're looking at?
You're more interesting in
Thank you so very much. I like that.
Okay, so I'll talk to the people there. So anyway, after 10 or 11 years, I was in solar energy. I volunteered to teach English as a second language to adults. And at the same time, I explored teaching English in Italy because we always wanted to live for a couple of months in Italy. And I interviewed, and Sheila and I went to 5 or 6 different cities all across the central Italy.
So let me get this straight. It's not that for some reason you came straight to Tuscia. You actually went around.
Yes.
You sample around.
We interviewed in Pescara, on the other coast, Livorno, in
Okay.
between Foligno.
Let me ask you this question. So you saw a bunch of Italy.
Yes.
What is common wherever you go in Italy?
What's common in Italy is several things. Okay. One, it's a city it's a country that respects its architecture.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. We don't believe so.
These buildings here, but also even in Boston.
Yes, sure.
Even in Livorno, somewhat. In Rome, in other countries, certainly in America, the buildings get too old, tear them down, and build new ones.
Okay. So Sheila, do you have the same feeling about the building, architecture?
I think Italians respect their architecture without worshiping it or worshiping the past. It's there, but I've gotten the feeling that it's no more legitimate or valuable to them than the present.
For sure, you're right. I want to ask you one question. Okay, we do respect, let's say, but you're an artist, you have a different sensibility. Don't you think we mistreat them at the same time?
Yes.
We put a bunch of crap on it, right?
Well, yeah, yes, but I think you have to let every generation
Make their own mistake.
that's exactly it. Make their own mistakes and have their own trends and feelings and so on. I mean, these buildings aren't going anywhere.
That you're right about. So, okay. Then again, we fast forward, we get to Tuscia or Viterbo.
Okay.
What got you?
The charm of the city, as we say, the architecture.
Yes.
But there's something else about Tuscia. The city itself, we've been here many times. And
How many?
maybe 5 times now.
I think so.
And we just feel the sense of history and aesthetics. The people can be somewhat reserved, but on the other hand, if you have a few encounters, they're very warm.
You have to pass a level. Then it's different.
Yeah, but even apart from interacting with us, we were here last year in September, I think, and we were sitting across the thing, and there was a little procession of a wedding.
Yes.
And everywhere you go in Viterbo, you see people enjoying each other.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All day, all
Yeah.
night. They have a sense of human interaction, a sense of community, in the restaurants, in the bars, and for people in America, the bars.
We
are not
love
a
to
bar, it's a
talk.
cafe.
We talk.
You talk.
Talk all the time.
Yeah.
Some
And
people do talk on the
Even in America.
and we like that very much.
Okay, Sheila, a much harder question for you. Is Viterbo clean?
I see them sweeping the streets all the time.
That is
Every
true.
single day
That
they
is
sweep
true.
the streets
So how the hell is it so dirty?
because it's confined. Because the buildings are close together and the streets and walkways are very narrow, and I really feel that the city works hard on keeping it clean. It's a
Our female mayor would be very happy to hear you saying that.
well, and I have tremendous respect for the recycling program.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's
I
nice.
haven't done the virtual tour of the composting facility yet, but I plan to,
Very
for
good.
sure.
Very good.
Yeah,
Okay, so we had coffee today in the morning,
Yes.
and you guys were going to Vitorchiano. Let me show you something, okay? You must have seen pretty much everywhere you go, it looks like this, right?
Mhm.
Peperino everywhere, sunflowers.
Yes.
By the way, you have to come back for Peperino in Fiore. It's fantastic.
When is that?
Very
Second,
happy.
third, and 4th of June is always at the beginning of June.
Ah, okay.
So it's this magnificent presentation of the city with an incredible quantity of flowers and colors. So you should definitely. Okay, one of the specialty about the place is that it's built on a big rock,
Yeah.
right? And of course, it was done for defensive reasons, right? But at the same time, it's sort of, from a real estate point of view, they occupy whatever they could. There was no space for new place, right? So you, as you can see, everything is freaking old, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You had the impression, right?
Mhm.
So Sheila, how was Vitorchiano?
How is what?
Vitorchiano,
Tuscia.
how did you like it?
It was beautiful. We didn't see that much of it because we went for the walk in the nature, but we saw a little bit of the medieval quarter.
Oh, by the way, did you have lunch at Grotticella?
No, all the restaurants. So we went into a bar to have a little drink before our hike, and we asked them where the restaurants were. And he said, all of the restaurants in town are closed. They're only open for dinner.
No.
He said, there's
Well,
a
it was Monday too.
No, it's Tuesday. There's a pizzeria around the corner. But what he didn't tell us was on the way to the hike, it was a bar. But the bar had like tavola calda, and also it was interesting. They had on the blackboard outside ravioli with panna, which is cream, and fungi mushrooms.
That sounds very good.
So when I ordered that, he picked up the phone and he called his colleague probably upstairs. And because I asked him too if there was any left, because now it was late, it was like 2 o'clock. And what we had seen in the morning when we were there was no longer there. There was some beautiful like orzo and other little pastas, all gone. So I asked him, is there any more ravioli? And he said, he gets on the phone, he calls his colleague, yes, there's a. So I had the ravioli. Sheila ordered some chicken and cicoria.
Oh, cicoria in padella?
Yeah, see.
Yes, very, very good.
Anyway, so we had a wonderful lunch, not the extensive one we had thought we were going to have.
Yeah,
But
but
that's okay.
that was
It was
okay.
It was delicious.
It
The
was great.
wine was fantastic.
So let me guess. In Italy, you rarely have bad experience as far as food is concerned.
Every
That's
day is a
absolutely
treat.
true.
Every 2 meals a day are a treat. Breakfast we don't eat much.
Okay, let's see how much of Tuscia you guys know.
Okay.
So this one is called Orco.
Sì, Bomarzo, Parco
So-
di Mostri.
You have been.
Sì.
How was it?
It was great. It was really great. It was very tranquil and beautiful trees, a little creek, amazing statues from the 15th century?
Correct.
And
1560.
16th, yeah.
Craig and I were talking about why don't they have them labeled, and we decided that it was to retain the original mystery of coming just upon them and thinking about them and pondering what they were, why they were there, not seeing them in any particular order.
There is a lot to be said about it, and I don't know if you want to show them, but I gave you 2 of my books. Very soon, the 3rd one will come up. So this is some kind of spoiling, or rather, it's the first time.
Spoiler.
Yeah, because the 2nd one just arrived today. We didn't even publish.
Oh.
It's not even publicly known to be around. And in the 3rd one, I am going to take upon myself to give an explanation on why such a crazy place exists. And the idea, I believe, is somehow with the death of Vicino Orsini, somehow all the knowledge of why and how and whatever died with him. And for the longest time, it was like a dark place where people stay away. My guess is that little kids for generation were told funny stories about that kind of place. And 1952 comes around. The grandfather of a friend of mine sees the potential, buys the whole thing for something the equivalent of $8,000.
Wow.
And builds it up again, cleans it up, open to public, and nowadays it's fantastic.
It's really
Yes,
something.
a wonderful-
When you say statues,
wonderful
these are
experience.
huge, they're gigantic.
The elephant is
The elephant,
humongous.
yeah.
Right,
Humongous.
holding on to the guy with his trunk. Yeah.
That's right. So that is a fantastic place. Okay, let's see what else I prepped for you guys. So this one is a very, very specific detail of a palace. I'm gonna get you close. Caprarola,
No.
Palazzo Farnese.
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
that's
is wrong. You guys, this is the whole room.
That's really beautiful.
You have got to go.
Really?
You have got to go.
Okay, all right.
Well, it is a beautiful, beautiful place, and you have got. They're trying. I don't know what they're trying to say, but they want to talk. I guarantee you, they want to talk. Okay, I believe this is my last proposal for you guys. Do you know of this place?
Yes, we were there.
Yes.
Civita di
Pedrino.
Bagnoregio.
Yes, Bagnoregio.
I believe this is a Photoshop thing because the clouds solo are a phenomenon that happens only in the morning. So it cannot be. So somebody superposed something to make it look as fantastic. But my God, that's fun.
It's incredible.
It is
It's
fantastic.
incredible.
It's not as beautiful as the black and white one that we saw the very first time we were here. We were over in B&B medieval B&B. And it was the morning fog. It was a black and white poster and the city rising out of the fog, and it was magnificent.
And if it was black and white, chances are that there were many more buildings than nowadays, because every few years something comes
There
down.
was some, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, for me, it was incredible. It's a city that's almost like a rock island. You know, you have to walk to it. But I had a fantastic soup there. It was artisanal grains
Right.
with the vegetable broth. It was fantastic.
Okay, let's take a very minor break because I want to show you guys and everybody a video that actually comes from last year, and we use it as a commercial for Tuscia in Fiore, and it's in English, so I'm happy to show it, and hopefully you guys will like it.
There is a place called St. Peter's Land, hidden between Rome and Tuscany. A place where you can find amazing landscape, beautiful natural hot springs, amazing castles, lakes, and marvelous gardens called Giardini all'Italiana.
In the last 3,000 years, many people loved and fought for this land. The Roman, the Etruscan, the Longobards, and other people tried to establish here their own.
But the popes have been the real rulers forever. Legendary wines and the best extra virgin olive oil in the world comes from here.
See you!
In April 2022,
when the Hasienborghi will dress up by tons of flower for Tuscia in Fiore.
Okay, now I want to hear. What do you think?
I think it's fabulous, except the music should be a little quieter. So
Oh!
you can hear the voices.
That is correct. In fact, I believe it was a psychological weakness in the sense we weren't so thrilled with the pronunciation and stuff, so we let the music be a little loud. Insecurity is a bad thing, Sheila. You must have seen it somewhere.
Maybe. But the imagery was gorgeous. Yeah.
So, should we recommend Tuscia to anybody?
Absolutely. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And the people who live here take great pride in being from this area. And I'm not sure that's true universally across Italy, whether they're regionally proud. I know that they're proud of their individual cities, but Tuscia in particular and the Etrusci.
I am Etrusco. Yeah, that's
You
true.
said
That's
that,
true.
you said
Oh,
that
yeah.
this morning.
Oh,
You
yeah,
said that
that's
this
for
morning.
sure.
And it's clear to me that people identify very strongly
Oh, yeah.
as Etruscan.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. But the problem for you, Frank, is that the food is really not good.
No, that's a problem. It's a good thing we walk on average 5 miles a day. I mean, the other thing that people should know in America, that there is still in Viterbo and in Tuscia, a lifestyle. You know, the stores will close at 1 or 1:30. So if you're going to cook that night, you really should do your shopping in the morning, okay? And then maybe have some lunch around 1:30, whether at home or in a restaurant. And then at 3:30, everything closes, even the restaurants. And then 5, 6 o'clock is passeggiata. Everybody is out walking on the main street, talking to each other, saying hello. It's
When you say it, it sounds so good.
it's a lifestyle that we really like. If we can only have it for a week or two at a time, okay. If we're able to do it for a couple of months, even better. We love the lifestyle, but the food in Tuscia, I know they say, oh, the food in Tuscany, the food here and there. The food in Tuscia is all local. It's so good, whether you cook it yourself or you go to a restaurant. It's every day is a feast.
0 kilometer, locally
Zero,
grown.
we saw
It
that
makes no sense
yes.
for us. Everything is locally grown. There is no difference.
0 kilometer.
Zero
By local food.
Okay, Sheila, I'm going to ask you a question, and I am hoping that Frank is going to forgive me. How good looking are the Italian boys?
Oh, very. And my sister immediately noticed when she was here that they take great pride in their appearance. And
Oh, yeah.
we appreciate that. So people try making the effort to.
Yeah. I don't.
Their very best.
I don't, which is visible, but they do. They do. I'm much more Americanized. Yesterday morning, a guy named Tony, that's another Tony,
Okay.
that's why I got confused maybe, came here looking for some real estate to buy and stuff, and he was worse than me. Shorts and some kind of sandals and not even a t-shirt,
Sheila
not even a
said-
polo shirt.
Sheila said to me today, I saw Julia and I saw another Italian guy wearing shorts. I never saw Italians wear shorts.
That's right, that's right,
Yeah,
that's right.
it was like that.
They don't. I think it's very hard. I think I need to wear shorts. It's hard. When I walk around, I'm like you. I do probably a couple of miles, 3 miles, but I go very fast. I'm not a tourist.
Okay.
I go from point A to point B and I have to go, right? Okay, so at the end of my interviews with every guest, I always ask the same question. Is there something, let's start with Frank, that you wanted to tell us and I didn't let you say?
I would say not one thing, that Tuscia, unlike other parts of Italy, is not one province. It's northern Lazio, but it's also part of Umbria. We always loved Umbria. We've been to Spoleto, Todi, Perugia, and also Tuscany. So it's really the triangle of three provinces, and the Etruscan heritage is still there. It's a very special place.
You can say some more if you want, as long as you're positive. If you're going to say negative, no.
In the city.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Some noise from outside.
Okay.
Those are the table of a pizzeria. How is the pizza?
You know, I am from Bronx, New York. That's the only place in the world to get pizza.
I didn't know that.
But here, we have a couple of favorite places, okay? But for me, I don't want to waste my appetite and my calories on pizza when I can have
Makes sense.
fresh pasta.
Oh yeah. What did you have? What did you have for lunch?
I had ravioli with when you think cream, it wasn't heavy. It was the Tuscians have a very light hand with cream.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's not heavy like up north and other places.
So I interrupted you about the pizza. What were you saying? If you remember.
I don't waste my appetite and my calories on pizza when I can have homemade ravioli with mushrooms and cream. When I can have something with, now how to say it in English, tartufi. Truffles.
You know the English, Italian one. You don't know the American.
I've been
That's a
here
good
month
sign.
now.
That's a good sign.
You know, I mean, if you've never had truffles, you have to taste the truffles. So
Let's call it tartuffe. It's a little bit. It sounds a little better.
you know,
Tartuffe does sound better.
it's incredible. But it's and the countryside too. They say northern Lazio, but it's really Tuscia.
Yes.
Right outside the city, you go on a bus for 10 minutes and you're looking at beautiful, beautiful countryside.
Did you notice there are no industries and big building with smoke coming out the chimney?
No, I don't know how the economy works here because it seems very self-contained, but all very small.
That's a conversation for another time.
Okay.
So Sheila, your turn. Something you want to tell us, and I didn't let you say.
Well, my thoughts are mostly centered on Viterbo itself, because even though we have gotten on buses and gone to all the nearby towns and places like Bomarzo and the Etruscan pyramids over in Bomarzo, it's the day-to-day living here that I just felt comfortable with absolutely immediately. I almost felt like I must have lived this way in a previous life.
Oh, very likely. We like that.
Because it felt so right, so completely right. To be able to walk everywhere and to see the same people all the time and not to have a car.
Oh yeah. So actually, I have a question. You just sparked my curiosity. Was it hard the first time when you came? You just said you felt at home, but
No.
finding a place, finding where to buy, where to do things, how to do things. Frank just told us at 1:30 everything is shut down and stuff. Was it hard?
It was hard to find an apartment for a short period of time, but we did, and then it happened to be right near a market that was open in the Piazza Faustino every day.
Piazza San Faustino.
San Faustino. And everything that I wanted was within.
Well, the first time we were here, we were in an apartment, and Sheila's very considerate. There was this beautiful tablecloth. And she said, "Oh, we can't put food on there." So she goes downstairs. Now, I was going to work every day in the morning. Sheila goes downstairs to what you would call in America a hardware store, but here a casalinga. Okay.
Casalinghi.
Okay. And Marco, who's now our friend, we are, on phone numbers and everything, doesn't speak any English. He and
And I
Sheila
did not speak much Italian.
were measuring plastic to cover the table. And every time we come back, he's just like so happy to see both of us, but especially Sheila, because they work together.
By the way, be aware, Italians boys are a little bad. Just be aware.
I'm
She's
Italian
a good-looking
too.
lady.
I know. I have no fears after 50 years with her.
Is that right? You guys have been together 48?
48.
48, come on.
Okay. So, no, Marco is a sweetheart. That was your first week here.
I just felt comfortable immediately. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Must have been the previous life thing.
Sheila, if I were a paid promoter for Tuscia, I would just cut that sentence. I just felt at home right away.
I felt at home. I felt at home right away.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. Okay, so we've been on for 30 minutes, 30 plus, which is great. Social media and stuff like very short, but it was so much fun to talk to you guys. So I want to thank you, but you have to promise we'll do the same when you are in Boston.
Sure. When we're home, we'll do one.
And if you have your favorite pictures or story or anecdote or whatever, I would be super happy to hear.
Yeah, we'll stay in touch. And
Very, very good. Okay, so I thank you guys again.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
My pleasure.
Tell everybody that we are going to meet again on the same line for every Tuesday night for the best kept secret in Italy, Tuscia. And tomorrow night, I'm going to have a rapper on, an Italian boy.
Okay.
So it will be fun too. Of course, very different, but it will be fun. Okay, so I thank you guys again,
Okay.
and we will walk in the city tonight together.
Okay. Very
Bye,
good.
guys. Regista, com'è andata oggi?
Bene, benissimo, come sempre. Ci vediamo alla prossima, Giulio.
Dalla Tuscia